Welcome to the Invisible Agent Podcast, the show for insurance agents ready to go from unknown to unstoppable, where visibility, strategy, and real-world execution meet. Hosted by Dave Cheatham and Mike Sorensen.
Welcome to the Invisible Agent, going from unknown to unstoppable. If you want to have a 2-comma business, then listen up.
Because there is Dave, I know your background is pretty extensive when it comes to just insurance and business in general, but your rise, at least in your first 2 to 4 years, was extremely well, where people tried to literally follow you, like almost forcing themselves to go underneath you. Tell us a little bit about what happened. How did you get there?
Yeah, it really was, a little background of before that. Again, I had a small insurance agency with a partner of mine, and it was really on the life side, and we did small group and individual health insurance, and end up you know he took it over. I had some non-compete. I said, what am I going to do? And I went into the Medicare space. I was too young. I said, what am I going to do? And I really thought I was only going to do really help individuals on Medicare, sell Medicare for 2 years. And I had a goal in that 2 years what was going to happen. And I realized a lot of stuff happened in that 2 years. But in the very beginning, there wasn't what we have today. Like FMOs, I would call an FMO. They couldn't train me on Medicare supplements. I would call a carrier and they couldn't even give me the right information. I was told, oh, submit this application, it'll be accepted, or here's what the rule or law is. And I found out that wasn't it. And so, and again, we didn't have, we had an internet. I'm not that old, it was 20 years ago, but there was still a lot of missing information compared to today. And so I really said, again, I was already in the insurance business. I already had an idea, but I was going in an area that I had no idea about. The only thing I knew about Medicare is Medicare didn't cover long-term care because I used to sell long-term care policies. And so I'm sitting there, I'm getting into it, I'm learning, I'm talking to my dad, and my dad goes, oh, I found the insurance agent instruction manual. It was the Choosing a Medigap book that Medicare gives to the beneficiaries, not to insurance agents. But you know what? I realized something is most insurance agents never read the book. No. Most consumers never read the book.
Yeah, consumers definitely not, but from agents definitely not. But the consumer said it's kind of like they really didn't read it, and that's like a big thing that I even require agents to do the moment they want to get into Medicare is you read Medicare and you read Choosing a Medigap, because you don't know what's in the book, how they're reading it, but you're not reading it. You have to know. But right. Yeah, go on. That's just a hot topic in general when it comes
to so I really kind of got into this point of figuring out how to market. And how do I market to that? And we've covered a lot of that in the episodes, and we'll cover more about it. But I said, this is great. And I was, like I said, I was going to pivot out after 2 years. If I just wanted the number of clients, I was going to pivot out and really sell more of what I used to sell. And my heart just sank when I kept on seeing people and they were put in wrong plans, or they were lied to, or there's so much was bad information. And I grew pretty fast in the first 2 years, and my name was getting around the area from other companies, other carriers, other agents that just knew who I was. And I had a couple agents came to me, and I kind of alluded to this before, but they came to me and they said, hey, Dave, would you show me what you did? And I said, sure. I didn't care. There's so much business out there. I don't care. And I sat down with them for a number of weeks and taught them, and was just showing them marketing. And they would call me every once in a while about some other questions about the Medicare business and that. And it wasn't until, a little bit later, they both of them asked to sit down again with me and said, hey, would you we have to pay you somehow. Yeah. We don't have all this money. Can we put contracts under you? And I said, no, I don't want agents. Yeah. I didn't want them at all. And I don't think people need to have insurance agents to make, have a 2-comma club business, right? Don't get me wrong. They don't need that. But what I did figure out was there's so many agents that wanted that 2 comma business. And how do they get to that 2 comma business? And what I realized was your value of your business could easily be over 2 commas,
Yeah.
right? Uh, but you can also make an income over 2 commas if you do this business correctly. The question is what you want to do. But wherever you're at, I think there's some just tips that you should be following if you want to grow your business to whatever size you want that to be. And the first thing I had to really think about was um, you don't have to be humble. I'm not trying to brag about the income or anything else, but I absolutely would let people know that what I was doing for my Medicare beneficiaries and how I was helping them. You have to let people know what you've done and what you accomplished. Uh, and I'll tell you, again, we're doing these whole entire series. If you listen to our very first one a little while back, I kind of pulled away from that. And the reason I pulled away from it was I know how much work it is to be an insurance agent. I know how much work is to do the marketing, to write the business, to meet with the clients, to do the follow up, and do all those things. It's why I created a lot of systems and follow ups and those things to help insurance agents. But um, people have to do the work. And again, a good, agents of mine that I have that I've coached and people I know in the business, they would say, Dave, you have to stop being humble. I mean, like, and I'm not saying that in a conceited way. It's the truth is, I'm telling you, you have to stop being humble. Not about the money. I don't like hanging around with people that dump their chest about how much money they have, but you have to be out there telling people how you've changed people's lives. What did you do?
So yeah, exactly. 'Cause if you don't have like I mean, it's more of like it's why I say I'm more passionate about what you're doing and what you're accomplishing than it is like bragging. Especially when you're working with a group of like seniors that like are so scared and kind of backed into a corner. Like if you don't at least portray confidence, portray like, oh, I can absolutely help you. Like, don't worry about it. We're gonna take care of you. Like the person that as a even as a consumer, if I'm working with two salespeople, that one's like super confident can help me, that one's like, kind of in their shell, just not like kind of skittish. Like I'm going with the guy who's confident. I'm not gonna risk it. Like I think that's so the humble thing. It's you're kind of hitting it right now on the head. It's like you don't have to say, well, I write over 200 people a year and I make over 500K a year. Like you should go with me because I've helped out so many. It's like no, it's more of like the way you're going to help them. I think that's the humbleness. You don't have to be humble about like the way you're going to help them, how much maybe attention, how much service you're going to get to them. It's kind of like your value proposition. Then like let them know what they're going to get from you rather than just be very vague or just not confident about it.
Right? Yeah, it is a value proposition,
Mm,
absolutely. And to me, that's really what it is. When I talk to agents on a regular basis, it's what value are you bringing?
yeah.
Why should an agent go with why should a client go with you as an agent versus this person? I don't fear. I can go anywhere in the country, and I don't fear my competition. Um, And again, that's not to, I'm not bragging about it. I'm just saying I don't fear it. One, there's so much business out there,
Right.
but I'm also different. And it's okay to be different. You don't have to follow the cookie cutter model that everyone has to be the same. Um, when I was at the captive company, right, we were supposed to wear the same colors suits, the same shirt. Right. They wanted us to almost be cookie cutter to one another. Have you ever walked into an office and you can't tell a difference between the people? Um, what is the movie? Men in Black. I feel like you walk
Oh
into an
yeah.
office and all of them have the same suit on, the same white shirt, the same tie. Um, you don't have to do that. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you, don't do that. Um, and another tip in that is beyond that is you have to let your authority shine. You have to let it shine. They should be able to know that you know what you are doing, and you better know what you're doing. Don't lie. Don't have a false polish on. Um, but let it shine. I am very confident that I can do certain things because I've done it.
Right.
Right. Um, when I first started doing Medicare and I'd walk into a house and I'd save somebody, $2,000 that year. Like, wait, what? And then I do it again. I do it again. I do it again. Now it became a point of I'm walking in people's houses and I had a really good knowledge of knowing that I could save a lot of these people money. I can't help everybody, but I knew that I can sell the majority of the people I walked into, which then led me to the point of I had to find efficiency in my business. So I didn't necessarily go to their house for the first appointment. And people go, wait, Dave, what do you mean? Yes, I had an appointment over the phone,
Yeah.
which led me eventually to do almost everything over the phone, right? But I did it over the phone. I qualified them. I did everything over the phone. That if I was going to their house, I knew a sale was taking place.
Yeah.
Um,
Helps be efficient. Yeah.
yeah. So I wasn't getting porched anymore. I'm not driving all over the place. Things definitely changed until I had an office that people came to me, but I still was at the point that I said I had to know what I was doing. When I was able to speak in front of people, when I was writing articles, when I was doing all these things, you know, I can tell you to this day, I see things that are posted online on Facebook, and said on YouTube, TikTok, all these things that is just pure lies. People want to know why Medicare beneficiaries are confused. It's because insurance agents are confused,
Yeah.
right? But
Absolutely.
the kicker is those people are thinking they're letting their authority shine. They're just letting false narratives shine. We have to get the word out to people when you truly know what you're doing and know it for a fact and know the facts. You have to be out there. And it's not just for your business. Beneficiaries need to know. And I don't care if it's Medicare, I don't care if it's life insurance, I don't care if it's disability insurance, I don't care if it's long-term care insurance, I don't care what it is. People need to know there's a reason that that insurance exists. We are we are the used car salesman of the world because, um, in a bad context because of how a lot of people sold. Build relationships, help people, because I'll tell you what, the products are needed in society more than ever. And they have to be understood because people aren't there teaching, but you have to let that authority shine for sure.
I think
Um,
one of the biggest gaps in letting your authority shine is, and this is a personal story of actually an agent we brought on this year had 400 plus clients of theirs. And when you're actually looking to grow your business and letting your authority shine, who's the one person that a senior is probably going to trust as their word is good compared to like an insurance agent? And it's the person that's the other senior that worked with that insurance agent. So 400 plus people they had working in this business for 10 years. There's no testimonials on their website, and they had no Google Business Review. With the two easiest ways to literally let your authority shine, they had zero words. So if anyone's trying to figure out if this person is credible and like an authority in the space and knows what they're doing, zero, absolutely zero actually documented history of them actually being able to do the job, that they are authority or an expert in the space. And no content, no reviews, no testimonies, no nothing, almost a ghost. And those 400 people, he probably could have grew years ago exponentially faster just by showing people that he can do this
right,
and do it well. And seniors, the biggest trust you can get them to work with you is show them that other seniors also worked with you and had a good experience. Like that is the biggest thing that I think is probably a big gap. So working with this agent now, managed about 7 months. He just went back to his clients and got testimonials, and now is the number one ranked agent in his area, just because he got reviews and responded to them and did a bunch of other things that kind of optimize. But now he's looked at as an authority in the space just because he's a track record and document history of doing so. It's your authority is everything. The way you're viewed in the industry is kind of everything to a beneficiary, because if they can't, again, we talked about in one of the early episodes, if they can't find you, who the hell are you? Yeah, like you have no authority, you have no dominance in the space, you have nothing. You are literally making this job because you are now a slave to this, 80-hour potentially a week job that you're making your life so much harder
right,
to actually grow because you are not using the free tools available to let your authority shine. A very easy way to do so. It's something we see, I mean, to this day, even successful agents not utilizing stuff like that, and which can make their growing ability so much faster.
Oh yeah. I 100% agree. I can't tell you how many people that we've both come across that you're like, hey, listen, you've done great. uh, we can blow it up a lot faster because there's so many things that you have not done that can be done in a very simple way. And it doesn't,
Yeah.
it takes a little bit of time, but it doesn't take tons of time. And now, I mean, with different tools and things that we have to help agents to do it and business owners, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, 2026, and the classes and things that we go and will be teaching and continue to teach going on and what we've learned and automated and just you have to do it. I mean, people have to be out there and let, as you said, let other people, let the avatar speak to their avatar and they will shine a light on you.
There isn't a better concrete way to show you are an expert than listening to the other people who work with you. There is nothing, like, you can say whatever you want to them, convince them that you are the best thing for them, but the one thing they're going to trust is the other people who worked with you before.
Which
It's
which
what human
which
nature.
kinda is that example that we talked about in my in the very beginning of, the insurance agents came to me and asked to work with me. I didn't want insurance agents. I just wanted to be an agent. Uh, and then when I was like, "Okay, I'll be a G," I remember sitting in a meeting at a conference, and they were like, "Oh, well, you wanna be an FMO someday?" And I was like, "No, I don't wanna be an FMO." And now we're an FMO, right? But I let the wave ride where it was, but here's the thing, I was not out there beating the drum on recruiting people. Insurance agents were shining a light on us and people were coming to us because other insurance agents were saying, go talk to Dave, go talk to Dave. Now it's go talk to Family Financial Solutions Group, go talk to Mike, talk to Mike, go talk to Dave. They will help you grow, right? And we can't help everybody because some people just don't want to be helped. Some people don't want to be coached. Some people, there's a lot of things. We're a little different than other people and that's okay. We're not right for everybody, but listen to what we're saying is let other people shine on you. Let your
Yeah.
avatar shine on you. Let
Yeah.
your centers of influence shine on you. So there's a bright light on you so they can't miss you.
Yeah. You can never keep yourself in the dark, even if you tried, because
No,
everyone else is going to be shining that light on you. Literally, if you tried. That's why it's unknown to unstoppable. You couldn't stop the thing. If you do it correctly, there's not a, you have to physically try to derail yourself
yeah.
from stopping, because that's the whole point. It's gaining so much momentum, so much speed that you become unstoppable, and you have to literally derail yourself
I,
on purpose to get this thing to stop.
yeah. Again, I stopped actively marketing for new clients a while back. And we had, I had a past employee who's no longer working with us, a phenomenal person, right? Not with us for different reasons, but a truly phenomenal heart, a phenomenal person, truly understood what we were doing as a company. And she said, Dave, I don't understand. I hear you talk to agents, I hear you talk to your clients, and you tell them, hey, listen, you're not necessarily looking for these referrals, yet you get more referrals in 1 month than some people get in the whole entire year. And sometimes, right? And we weren't wanting referrals. It had to do with that light that it's on.
Yeah.
And for me to turn it off, it really would be, I'd be ruining my reputation. I'm not going to
Yeah.
do that. So I've tried to turn it off as much as possible. And by just saying, please, we're really not taking on new clients, that's not, but we have people that we can hand them to, we can do other things, but that shining of that light, when it's on, it's on, it's that snowball effect. It's going down that hill. And if you're doing it the right way, it's going to go. Um, yeah, you can crash into a huge tree and it blow up, but usually it's because you did it. You were the tree that blew it up,
Right.
by something you did. So, but absolutely, which kind of then goes also though. I mean,
Yeah.
if you listen to what we've just been saying, the passion we have, Mike and I do this both. We show up with conviction.
I was just
We
gonna say that.
believe this so much. I hope that you hear the passion that we have for it. You have to show up with conviction. When you're talking to people about your business, you have to believe in your business. Today, of all times, In the Medicare space, we hear people basically, talking garbage about the Medicare business, which I think is a great business. We have people talking about life insurance. It's a horrible business to get into. We have people talking about insurance, the property and casualty. It's a horrible business to get into. I'll tell you what, it's not.
No.
If you don't believe in what you're doing, if you don't believe that you can help people, if you don't believe in the industry you're in, get out, because all you're doing is just going to die anyways, and it's going to be very painful.
Yeah. I was just like looking up. I got in a thread on a group on Facebook of an agent just kind of complaining about the whole industry and how he's in a state that some plans got pulled and he's got to choose between feeding his family and, doing right by the client. And it's, you're, if you are going to complain, have a negative attitude about this or not like have passion for it, like you will find more things wrong that'll happen to you than you'll ever find things that are right that are happening to you. Because there are businesses in his area that are doing fine and actually growing. But since he's got a negative attitude, poor conviction, like he's got more conviction about how many bad things happen to him than more than how much good stuff can happen for him. And you will just attract all of the bad things, or actually, you're not even attracted. You'll just pretty much blow up the fact that bad things are happening to you and actually forget anything that's actually good that could be coming from this. And and Dave kind of hit nail right on the head as far as at the beginning of, we don't talk about this like we're kind of halfway in, halfway out. Like this is what we do full time. Like if you don't, if you don't speak like us about the thing you are currently doing, I would question whether I wanted to work with you or not. Because if you are not all in and if you're not fully passionate about what you're doing, like what happens to me when the day comes where you decide, ah, like this agent, this is my last day. It's like, cool. You just promised hundreds of other clients that you're going to be there from every year. And just because you had a little bit of a tough quarter, you're going to bounce. Like full conviction will absolutely, absolutely show when your clients are sitting in front of you versus the person that's kind of like a wet blanket, like, nah, that
Yeah.
that's the confidence. It all boils down to confidence of what you think you can do for people, and then speaking the truth about what you can do. And if you can't do that, it'll be very hard for you, one, to sell and one, to grow. And two,
Yeah. And I think you put a spin on this that is absolutely true, that I hope people are listening to and understood. It's the positive conviction,
Mhm.
right? And I teach all the time. You attract who you are and what you are. If all I am is negative, I'm going to attract negative people to me. I'm going to attract negative thoughts. I'm going to attract negative stuff, the things that kill the mindset, the things that kill your business. If I'm positive, I'm going to repel away all the negative, right? And I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that everything is, sunshines and roses all the time,
right? It's never.
right? But I know for a fact that my business will grow. I know for a fact by doing what we're doing, it's going to happen. When somebody comes to me and goes, I have to make a choice between, doing right by my client and putting food on the table, and this might sound harsh, I'm always going to pick doing right by my client,
Mhm.
because I truly believe that if I do what's right by my client, my pocketbook and my family will be able to live and survive, and we're going to be okay. And I've held this belief since I've been in business, since that's just what I learned. That's who I am. Right.
Mhm.
Um, and that's not even a choice. It's
It
not
was
even a
harder.
choice.
It was harder for me. Like before I met my wife is that very like big positive, like always will spin anything negative to a positive without a fault. When I first met her, it was a little annoying because I was just that like negative, like, no, like my family struggles, I struggle, like I can't do anything right, like poor me, poor me. And I mean, it took years to like shift out of that. Obviously, just being around her just like made things better, but also like getting coaching and help to like fix that. Like that has been such an unbelievable like fix to how I approach literally everything now. Because I mean, we've known each other for close to 3 years now. Like the amount of times where I actually get on a call with you where I'm like, just a bad day, everything's bad happening, can't stop it, blah blah blah. Like maybe one phone call, probably pretty much ever like that's ever been like that. And that was maybe pretty bad days, if not even at all, have ever happened. Because
Right.
that it's a net negative because not only did you have a bad day, you have now have a bad attitude. That's going to create another bad afternoon, which is going to wake up the next day to create another bad morning. Like you are just compounding negative over and over again. And to stop that, we talk about the snowball going downhill. Try stopping a boulder of negative energy and try and stop that and push it back uphill. Well, almost impossible. And that's
Yeah.
what a lot of people get into.
Yeah. It's so true. I wish, and I think, and we're not necessarily, thought about this, but if you listen to what we're talking about, this is a lot of it's that mindset, right? If you want that 2 comma business, the mindset matters.
Mm.
And you
You
have
have
to
a two comma mindset. Two comma mindset. Yeah.
2 comma, yeah, right. 2 comma mindset. And you have to train yourself for it. Listen, that's not how I was born, right? I'm not saying I was born to be negative. I'm just saying, um, we can teach ourselves. We can put ourselves in routines to be in a spot to train our mind and be more mindful of what we're doing, to have that positive mindset. And Mike, I know that you do things in a routine. You have routines in your life to kind of help you too, right?
Yeah.
Um, you know,
This is the power of habit. I was actually just talking to another agent about it. Like, if you want to understand like why like things work the way they do, read that book. It'll like it literally changes the way you think about how you do things every single day. And like what a routine will do for you that is positive, like over a long enough time horizon, how that will actually change you fundamentally from like as a person. Like it's profound. It's
yeah,
crazy.
I love the fact that you not only I've heard you mention this book before, right? But not only did you mention it today, you knew exactly where it was and you pulled it out,
Yeah.
right?
Those are probably
Uh,
like the same like 15 or 16 books that I'll like read, like reread, just because they cover different elements of like life and just how to like approach things. Like I don't read a lot of books, but I will reread the books that I think are worth rereading.
right.
Yeah.
Uh, which I'm going to go into. There's another piece of this, and we're talking all these things about, right? You don't have to be humble, and you have to let your, you know, the light shine upon you, and you have to show up with conviction. But there's another part of this, and you have to be authentic to who you are, right? So all those things, you have to be who you are. I have friends that are the rah rah type, and I really am not. I'm not the cheerleader. I cheer in a different way. I motivate in a different way. I teach in a different way. And I've just had to learn to be me instead of being, listen, I used to coach basketball. Um, I can't coach like Phil Jackson. I can't coach like Tom
Yeah.
Thibodeau. I can't coach like, you know,
Do you
some of
want to
the
cook like
greatest.
pasta?
uh, Tom Thibodeau is a defensive coach, was
Yeah,
phenomenal.
that's very
He's one
true.
of the best defensive coaches out there, right?
That's
And I,
pretty
I
true.
love defense. I was a defensive coach, right? Um,
Gosh.
uh, but I couldn't coach like certain people because they have the unique style. You have to be you. Um, you have to speak with your own voice. One of the things we do on a regular basis, people go, "Oh, Dave, can I have your script?" No, let's teach you how to build your own script, because your voice matters. I can teach you the psychology behind a slide. I can teach you these things, but you have to find your own voice. You have to find your authentic you. Um, people that go, "Oh, how did you grow your business?" I can tell you exactly what I did, but that doesn't mean that's what you should do. Because I said before, I truly am by nature an introvert. Um, I can speak to you. I can speak on stages. That's not what an introvert versus extrovert is, by the way. Some people misunderstand that, but I I have such passion for what I do, and when I have the passion, I can speak on that passion, and I can stand up in front of people. Most people have a fear of public speaking, but yet we can teach ourselves to get rid of that fear. That doesn't mean you're not who you are. So understand that just because you don't like to speak in front of other people because you fear it doesn't mean you can't get rid of that fear. But when I do speak in front of other people, I have to be who I am. I can't be some of the greatest orators. I can't be the, uh, uh, you know, Dr. King, I mean, great orator, right? Phenomenal orator. I can't be him. He speaks in such a way that in a different way. That's not me. Um, I hear some of the greatest orators in the world speak. That's not who I am. I'm not the, hey, get up and jump up and down, rah rah. Now, if you ever see me speak on stage, sometimes I do things and it just comes natural, like boom, it just hits me. But if it doesn't do that, I don't plan it. Um, I can't memorize my speeches word for word for word. They're bullet points, and I have a really good idea what I'm speaking on. I have the stories, I have all those things. But if I memorize it, I freeze.
Yeah.
And I have a pretty darn good memory, but I just freeze. That's not who I am. Um, be authentically you. Be who you are. Are you a, where's your heart? Maybe your heart is to work with certain people, and just because that's who they are. I have individuals, I say all the time, why are you helping seniors? And we have some agents that are phenomenal. They didn't know anything about insurance, but they're growing like crazy because they just love seniors, and you can tell it. Um, there's some people that's just, I say like it just comes out of their pores. You just know it.
Yeah.
And there's some people that love just oozes out of them. Just the hospitality, I should say, oozes out of them. Um, I'm not the typical hospitable person. It's not necessarily a gift I have. Somebody comes in, I'll offer you a drink, things like that. But in our house, it was, hey, you've come to our house. We'll give you things, but when you're friends of ours, you know where the cups are, you know where the refrigerator is, get the drink. That's how we grew up. So that's just what I did. I mean, I've had to learn to be more hospitable, not because I don't want to be. It's just because that's not how my brain thinks. So being authentic, you also have to understand how you think, how you process things, how you speak, who you are, and not try to be other people. Um, and if you do those things, I truly believe you're going to be who you are. And one thing, Mike, one of the things one of the first things we did when we talked, I was like, I got to know Mike, and I was like, man, Mike's a kind of a quiet guy. When he spoke, he definitely spoke with the conviction and knowledge and that type of thing. But when I first met him, and we were introduced when he was in the captive area, and what he did in that company, and he was sitting there, he was taking things in. I could tell what he was thinking, he was processing. It wasn't like he was just going to jump in and cut people off, and very introspective in so many ways. And I came to, when I would say, hey, Mike, you want to speak on something now that you're with us? I knew when you would speak, you didn't need to be me. You're who you are. And I love it because it's different.
Well, I mean,
And
I don't think we
that's
need.
okay.
I don't think we need two Daves.
No,
We got. We got more than one. We got more than enough Dave.
in the
I
world.
Yeah, yeah. We're definitely okay on Dave. From from myself, it is something you have to learn through repetitions. In my personal opinion, like figure out your authentic you before you even start doing this business. Like that might be a little tough. Like there are going to be ebbs and flows of like what you'll find is going to work and then what you're not going to find is not going to work, and what worked and maybe you were comfortable with and what didn't work that
Mhm.
maybe you thought you were going to be comfortable with. It's not, this is, as much as we were saying be authentic you, like there isn't that you're not going to be write it down on a piece of paper and say, all right, going forward, this is me. Like you will make adjustments on based how you feel and what you would like to do. Good example, like there you are probably, I have a really good friend. She's not an agent with us. She's in just at a different stage of her life. And she will not speak to a small group or even a large group. But it's like speaking with like your best friend you haven't seen in 20 years every time she gets with a client. I've seen it in action. It's like the most warmest bedside manner, like feeling you've ever had. Like you are the only person in the world that's speaking to them in that moment. Makes you feel extremely well when you're actually speaking with her, but just doesn't want to talk in front of a group. And she's been a successful agent for nearly a decade now, but she's never spoken in a group or to a small group or even a large group and still a successful agent. Does that like as a trait entering in, if you're watching this, if you feel that that's you, don't feel like this can't be successful for you, because it absolutely can. There's more than, disgustingly enough, there's more than one way to skin a cat, and there's more than one way to do this business. And you can like almost pick and choose how you want to do this, tailored to you. And there's a very good, I mean, success is I mean, if you told me like, hey, Mike, I just want to like literally just do phone calls by myself in a room, dark room with auto dialer, like, sure, there's an absolute way you can do this. Or if you say, hey, Mike, I just want people to come to me and I want to write 2,000 applications a month, like, readjust expectations. But if you really want to tailor this to you, you absolutely can. I wouldn't let anyone tell you you can't do something. If you have a specific vision for you want your business to be, then build it and find a coach that will help you build it. Like I said, we're not for everybody. Like, that's why we do a lot of qualifications when we work with people, because like, if there are a lot of people that want to do certain strategies that we don't align with, like, I'm not going to morph and Dave's not going to morph what we do, just so we can like bubble around them so it can work. So ultimately they're going to get frustrated. We're going to get frustrated. It's just not going to work. So find somebody and again, it might take some searching because there's a lot of people out there, but if there's a way you want to do business, don't stop at the first person you talk to and say, well, they were nice. I don't know if I jive with them, but my friend Billy, who's an agent, said they do really good work. Like, no, like, there are so many options out there. Like, you can kind of carve this out however you'd like to, and don't settle for how someone else wants you to do this business, because ultimately there's been so many different ways people have been successful doing this. It's
Yeah.
crazy. So that'd be my 2 cents on being authentic. You like, don't settle for what people are telling you to do. Carve this out how you want, and just know, like, it will take effort. It will take work, especially if you're trying to tailor it really well. It will take effort. It will take work. But if you really believe in that, like, I met a guy who literally he goes and does seminars at RV parks around the country. Like, literally, it has a camper himself, has Starlink, and drives around the country writing Medicare business and doing seminars at RV parks because he loves RVs and he loves traveling. If he can do it, literally anybody can do this business and tailor it to how he wants to do it. So
That's it. Maybe that's what I'm gonna do when I retire. I'm
yeah,
gonna go to
there
all
we
the national parks. I'm gonna just get a travel trailer and I'm gonna do it. I'm telling you, I love it. Um, actually, I probably will not, because I really don't. I love what I do, and people ask all the time, "When are you going to retire?" And I don't see myself ever full time retiring. It's because I love what I do. I love seeing agents thrive. I love celebrating with agents success and how they define success. Um, and so find somebody who wants to celebrate you,
go. Mhm.
that celebrates your success and doesn't define what success is. And if you don't want a 2 comma business, hey, that's okay. You don't need one.
Yeah.
But maybe it's a 2 comma business, not financially. And you notice we didn't say necessarily financially. Maybe it's a 2 comma business inwardly that you
Yeah.
have.
You're the
And
idea of what you think your business is worth based on what you wanted to pull out of it. Because success to you will look different than what success to Dave and I will look like. That's it.
absolutely.
That is the truth. Because Dave's success of a business is different than mine, different than yours. Like, you don't stop at what like other people are going to tell you on how to make this look like. That's up to you.
Yeah.
If 100 clients is it, great. You won. You made it. Moonwalk off into the distance. Like, you're
Yeah.
fine.
Um, and I think I want to end on this and it kind of and like led right into it, right? Um, Family Financial Solutions Group, our company, the 2 comma has nothing to do with monetary money. My whole entire goal is impact. We truly want to make an impact on people's lives. We want to make an impact on people growing a very successful insurance business the right way because you actually impact more lives. And I can only do so much in a certain area. And I know that as a company, if we pour into and help insurance agents grow a very successful insurance business, will impact more lives.
Hmm?
But we can only do that one life at a time. And the more we do that over and over, it has that compounding effect. And I believe truly that the people that work for our company have the same mindset. We're here about impact. We all have to make a living. Don't get me wrong. We have to make money. But if we make an impact in the world, the money will be there And that 2 comma business is not just 2 commas on monetary, but how many lives have we impacted? And so, thank you for being a part of today's episode. I love it. Remember to just like and share us. If this has had an impact on your life, we'd love to hear it. If these episodes make a difference for you, we'd love to hear it. We'd love to have your input and hear what you guys have to say. Our goal, like I said, is why we named this podcast what it is. Invisible Agent, going from unknown to unstoppable. We want you to be unstoppable, and we would love to celebrate your success, no matter where it is. Thank you for being here today.
See you in the next one.
We do not do any paid marketing to promote this podcast. It only grows if you find value in this and share it. Keep following as we show insurance business owners how to go from unknown to unstoppable. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next week.